Hello, this is a video on how to repair a lawnmower deck which has holes in it without welding. Okay, so first we're just showing removing the components from the mower, which is similar with most normal lawnmowers. So make sure to undo the spark plug before working on the blade for a safety tip, and then we need to remove the engine on this mower as the holes in the deck are covered up by the engine. So now the engine is removed, you can see the holes are at the front of the deck and the height adjustment. So we're going to take off the plastic panels to access the hole, which you can see there. This mirror is quite new and in good condition, so it's definitely worth saving. One thing to keep in mind while doing this is how much time and effort you want. What results you want. You could just fill it and then brush paint over it with any colour paint, or you could go to more extent than we have and take everything off the mirror, strip the deck as we've done in other videos, and do an even better job of removing all the paint, etc. So depends what you want. If you just want to stop grass coming out of it and extend its life, or if you want it to look good, but that's a decision that you can make yourself. Okay, at this point, now everything's off, we decided to leave the rear wheels on as they're not really in the way, but if the holes are near the back or you want to do a full job, you can remove those. So we're using sanding discs on an angle grinder to remove the paint and any of the rust in the affected areas. So with this mower, the rest of the paint's in good condition because it's quite new, so we're trying to feather the edges of it and just only remove the bad paint and rust, as we're not going to be fully stripping the paint down. If the mower is bad, you can take all the paint off. And now we're going to clean the underside so the filler has something to stick to, remove some of the rust. So now we're mixing fiberglass filler, which you want as opposed to normal filler, as it's designed for blocking holes and it's pretty solid once it goes hard. We've used it before and it's never fallen out. So we gave it a quick jack wash underneath to clean the deck, and now we are putting the filler on. So as you can see, once that goes hard, it's quite strong. You need to make sure that it's filled the hole completely, and if it's coming out the top like that, just angle grinding off the excess with the sanding discs. One thing to note is the hole is quite large, larger than those, then you'd need to use like chicken wire to bridge the gap to help the fiberglass support something. And also make sure to wear a mask while doing this, because as you can see, fiberglass dust is everywhere. Just checking that I've got it flush with the bodywork, and we're going to put some normal filler over the top. Now, depending on how good of a job you want to do, you might not necessarily need to put the body filler over the top. but it's just to make it slightly smoother. But if you don't need the aesthetics, you could now just spray some primer over it and it would be solid. So now we're just using some 300 grit wet and dry paper to smoothen down the filler and also to remove any angle grinding marks and try and feather the paint out. So giving it a quick wipe down with some paint thinners just to make sure there's no contaminants on the bodywork before we paint it. So now we're spraying a rattle can of primer, etched primer. Now I'm trying to keep it nice and light and trying not to paint all of the mirror, but also making sure all the bare metal is covered up. Popping on a second coat of primer just to make sure that all the bare metal is covered. Now we're going to put a top coat over the top of black. So just making sure all the primer's being covered up and just try and get a light even coat. So now we're just spraying some Dinitrol on underneath. I've used paint in the past, which also works. Hopefully this won't flake off as easily as it's an underbody sealant for cars. But just anything to try and stop the corrosion. It will wear off eventually, but if you keep on top of it, it should hopefully keep it cleaner. And there we go. I'm sure hopefully you can agree that it looks a lot better than it did, and hopefully it'll give this mower a few more years of life, considering everything else on it, the engine, etc. are all in perfect condition. So you can see, not perfect, but much better than it was, and hopefully many more years of mowing out of it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you found it helpful.